What's up, people? We're talking boxing right now. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about it. Uh, so we'll take the time out to talk a little bit about boxing with you guys. So the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, Cerrone B-side. He got beaten by one, Francisco Estrada. And Francisco Estrada, it looks like he's wanting to get back in the ring in 3 to 4 months' time. So that sounds good. Then we have Gary Russell Jr. is talking the talk. Of course, we know that there are possible opponents for Tank Davis. You know, there's Jojo Diaz, who's talking about inevitably meeting Tank Davis. There's also Leo Santa Cruz, who's talking about a clash between himself and Tank Davis. So that would be interesting as well. Gary Russell Jr., he had made some comments about Tank Davis. So there's a number of different people who are kind of putting their foot in the ring, of course, across on Top Rank side. We've got Shakur Stevenson, who's starting to call out Tank Davis. We got Lomachenko at lightweight calling out Tank Davis. A lot of people being vocal about Tank Davis, and that all goes to show that money talks and bullshit walks. Tank Davis obviously is a cash cow at that division, the super featherweight division. And obviously people are looking at him and they got their eyesight on him. Lomachenko, easily a nice pay-per-view would be there, and Lomachenko would make a tidy sum of money. So that's why he's focusing on, he's focusing on Tank. Obviously, Mikey Garcia doesn't look like he's going back down to lightweight anytime soon. Since he's going to campaign as a welterweight or junior welterweight. So that is what it is. But at the end of the day, Lomachenko needs a dance partner. And Teofimo Lopez is the guy that Balair is going to try and rush to the table to take on Vasily Lomachenko. Now, the thing about it is, it may possibly be that while Aaron might think of Teofimo Lopez as a feeder to Lomachenko because he doesn't have the experience, he might be unpleasantly surprised to realize that Teofimo Lopez might be ready to deal with the Lomachenko. We'll see. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with Teofimo Lopez's last fight, but he did have great defense. Hardly got hit by the other guy. And he also dealt out the punishment. So, here's what it is. We'll see how Teofimo Lopez fares with Lomachenko. Of course, the big fight this week is Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs. There's a lot of buzz on that. They had the grand arrivals with Jacobs and Canelo. Because a lot of people are counting out Jacobs in this fight. He's talking about Canelo knocking out Jacobs. I don't see that happening. Jacobs is way strong. He's a very strong, very powerful fighter. He's long. He collapsed his arms, fighting on the inside a bit. So, the Jacobs that faced Sergio Mora is not the same Jacobs that we're going to see. Even the Jacobs that faced GGG is not going to be the same Jacobs we see against Canelo. It's going to be a Jacobs that is much more grounded, secure, veteran Jacobs. That's what you're going to see. It's two veteran fighters, and Canelo's going to have a tougher task than he had with all the other fighters he may have faced. He possibly could. I'm not saying he would, but he possibly could have a tougher time with Daniel Jacobs than he had with other fighters that he faced earlier on in his career. So that should be interesting. I think Danny Jacobs is going to go to Canelo, but he's also going to move away from Canelo at the same time, so he can actually establish range. Then we got another good fight. We got a bunch of good fights, actually. We got Abner Mares wanting to face Gary Russell Jr. So Abner Mares, he wants to get a fight with Gary Russell Jr. Of course, Abner Mares' eye has actually recovered quite a bit from the detached retina that he had from training, so good for him. Lomachenko was talking about how you punished Teofimo Lopez for talking so big against him. Of course, Teofimo Lopez comes from New York, and they like to talk. Baby Miller was the same thing, so here's what it is. Artur Beterbiev, he's going to be facing a gentleman named Kalaj. Let's see if I got it right. Kaladzik. Okay, I may be wrong. And that's coming down this weekend. when it comes to Nonito Donaire, Nonito Donaire stopped a young undefeated fighter this weekend past there on Friday. I think it was Friday. He stopped an undefeated fighter, and that again is fantastic. I mean, it shows that Nonito Donaire is coming into his stride. We'll see what happens when he faces Tate. Now, Anthony Joshua looks like he's going to be facing Andy Ruiz Jr. And honestly, that's a good fight. That's a good matchup. But I've heard people talking about how Andy Ruiz, he's a better fighter, more effective, will get to the inside much more easier than Jarrell Baby Miller. I think Jarrell Baby Miller has some expert skills he brings to the table. I don't really see Andy Ruiz have it, which is like rolling punches a lot. So I disagree that he's better than Jarrell Miller, even though Jarrell Miller popped some drugs to be able to do PEDs. I don't know how many times he's done that, but he's popped PEDs to try and beat Anthony Joshua. But Andy Ruiz is a solid replacement. That's a guy that comes to fight. That's a guy who got a stoppage very recently. That's a good fight. Jesse Vargas, of course, he had defeated Soto. And after that, he called out Jaime Munguia. So it looks like Munguia versus Vargas may happen. And again, Vargas has been involved in a fight where he's bloodied. This is what it is. We also have a very interesting matchup, but they don't have dates and times yet. But Sergey Kovalev versus Anthony Yard is going to be a good matchup. We'll see how that turns out in the end. But that's a fight also that we want to see. And I'm looking forward to that fight. So we got a bunch of good fights that we want to see that I think are worth the while to look towards anyway. Yeah. The other fight that I think is interesting, Jarrett Hurd versus Julian Williams. It's not as hot as the other fights because Julian Williams he got not stopped by Jamal Charlo, and so all of that kind of hype behind Julian Williams kind of dies off. Nonetheless, Julian Williams is going to be facing Jarrett Hurd. It's a different style. He'll demand different tools. I think Jarrett Hurd's going to stop. He's going to stop. He's going to stop. What's his name? He's going to stop. I don't remember his name. Julian Williams, right? He's going to stop. I think he's going to stop Julian Williams. It's my personal opinion. I don't know. But that's a good ass fight nonetheless. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So Julian Williams is going to be facing Jarrett Hurd. That should be a win for Jarrett Hurd. Of course, I don't know if Hurd is going to unify with Munguia. He's going to move up. He's pretty big for 154 now. So that's something we're talking about. I'm sorry about the yawn. I don't know why that happens sometimes. In addition, as we know, Danny Garcia will be moving up. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. In addition, you have they're talking about Klitschko come back. I don't think that's going to happen. But in addition, we have Manny Pacquiao, and his fight is now cemented with Keith Thurman, as well as Sean Porter's fight. Sean Porter's fight is also cemented with Errol Spence Jr. And it seems like Andy Ruiz, that fight is almost but solidified between himself and Anthony Joshua. So we got all these fights that are coming up in boxing. I'm looking forward to all of them. If you guys have any other comments, leave your comments in the comment section. I listened to an old fogey, another old fogey come up and trying to talk about how my comments on my video with Manny Pacquiao being better than Sugar Ray Robinson in the context of opposition and how consistently he faced them. And he's trying to say, no, that's not correct and my video is bad and blah, blah, blah. I just laugh because I know that guy can't even try to counter anything I say. But on that note, I hope you guys have a great day, a great week. I will try and get to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.